we have our Breakout Players of the Year, although we kind of discussed that. Unless you have anyone else you want to shout out.
I have another shout.
All right, let's do it. Yep.
Go
ahead, Sub.
For me, it's got to be Moise Kean.
Re-breakout. Oh, we have a comeback category as well.
So I could say someone else then.
Okay, yeah. Because he's a great
Sure. I can say someone else. For Breakout Player of the Year, I don't know if this is necessarily a breakout because we've been hearing about him for so long, but I think he's finally put like the world on notice fully is Victor Gyokeres.
Okay.
For Sporting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good shout. That's a good shout.
That is a breakout.
No, he is.
I think
we didn't know about this like
this
that.
This is his like big season.
He's an early Holland kind of vibe right now.
I agree. Yeah. Although he's 26, so he's matured as a player. He's someone that has had a tough career. He's bounced around. He was at Coventry for a while. Then I think he was at St. Pauli for a little bit.
Gang.
And then at Malmo, he wasn't actually able to like fully produce. Yeah. For some reason, Sporting believed in him. Amarin believed in him, brought him in, and bagging goal after goal after goal. The Selly is insane.
That shit is hard as fuck. Bro.
I've complained about robotic strikers having robotic ass celebrations. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good celebration right there. That's a very good one.
Yeah. Kids is doing it.
No, it's good. It's good.
That's just
he can score some goals, and he's really, really, really like he's surprisingly like agile for how big of a striker that he is. So like I think next year we'll see him move to a big club. Hopefully he doesn't go to United, but
yeah, facts.
I really hope for his career he doesn't go to United because
Ruben is the only United coach in the last decade I have like any faith in besides Mourinho.
Yeah, but still, like
I know it's still United.
It's just like it's a graveyard, bro. The way they did Xerxes is a graveyard. True. Like so,
he just started.
They'll be back eventually.
Xerxes?
Yeah.
No, but the way they're talking about him already.
But then he scored recently. Like I think Ruben will be the first coach to really get the vibes right.
Anyway,
but we'll see.
For me, Breakout Player of the Year. I know that we've been hearing about him for some time, but I feel like he's finally kind of hit the ground. Victor Gyokeres.
All right.
Mine is definitely Bradley Barcola.
Oh, go on.
Cheese. Babyface Ray.
Yeah, Bradley Barcola.
Great shout.
Like this is his. I feel like last season he had a decent season.
Yep.
Where's he coming from? Lyon, like 2 years ago.
I don't remember where.
I'll look it up for you.
I think he's coming from Lyon, but like this is definitely his season after Mbappe left. Like PSG has just been scoring like crazy.
Yeah,
like, he finally has a chance to shine. I think he has 10 goals already in the first like 14, 15 games in League. And there's a whole song named after him. I think it's La Hasba 22 or whatever. He made a song literally called Barcola, and the hook is literally Bradley Barcola.
Was he the one doing the live performance?
Yes, bro. And he performed, and he performed it live
Shout out to
at
Zone.
the Parc des Princes at the PSG stadium.
That
bro,
is so funny.
He's like 21 years old.
Yeah.
The halftime performer is singing a song named after him, bro. Everybody in the crowd going crazy.
Facts.
So yeah.
They just got to get it right in the Champions League. The only thing.
Facts.
But in France, they still doing their thing. Florian Wirtz, I think he was the engine of Leverkusen, and they would not have been able to be what they were without him.
Yep.
To have the German national team have him and Musiala as like the options up front with that creativity, that dribbling ability, that goal scoring ability, playing off another, I think is gonna have them back to the type of team we always thought Germany could be.
Yep.
And if they hadn't run into Spain, they probably would have gone farther, maybe even won it. So yeah, and he's just such a fun player to watch. He's just a natural footballer. He can pick up the ball in any location and make it dangerous. Sometimes he's dropping deeper, sometimes catch on the wing.
Yep.
He can make it happen from the center. So Wirtz as a midfielder, I think, is that kind of guy. And there's rumors Madrid wants him, but Madrid wants everybody, you know what I'm saying? And I think he'll make a move soon to another top club. So lots to choose from, but I'll probably go with Wirtz. We then have it's kind of a two-part question. Saddest injury / best comeback of the year. So any player like, damn, I wish they hadn't been injured. And then somebody also who made a comeback, whether from injury or just like a return to form. So
I have a very niche one.
Please do it.
Georgie Munungu, who plays for the Seattle Sounders.
Okay.
I was watching him play against LAFC. I think it was the semifinals. He was cooking everybody, bro. Like he's one of those players that he's a winger, 22 years old. He's a Ivorian. And when you see him, like, when you watch him in the game, he stands out from everybody else. He's, like, taking everybody one-on-one. No, kind of how you talked about Vinny.
Yeah.
Nobody could stop him, bro. Anytime he takes you to the byline, you're getting cooked. But the crazy story about him, and they, like, briefly mentioned it on the broadcast, he travels with the Next Pro team, like the Seattle Next Pro team, the summer before this MLS season to Spain to, like, play, like, friendlies and stuff. He got an eye infection in his left eye. And his left eye is now blind, like legally blind.
Jesus Christ.
So he played this entire season without vision in his left eye. and like they interviewed him about it recently, and he was like, I have a quote. He said, "This doesn't affect me at all. My left eye is not working, but I keep working. I have one eye, but I can do better than those who have two eyes.
Hey.
That's my mindset."
That's huge,
bro. In the semifinals, in the
Yeah,
MLS,
yeah,
bro,
that's huge.
cooking
Wow.
everybody, and like you could tell, like you could see, like his eyes, like it got infected. But
Yeah,
he's cooking everybody. So
Hey, man.
I was like, yo, hats off to Georgie.
only got eye on beating his defender. Fuck it, if I got one, I'm gonna use one.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
For comeback stories, I have two players that
I got one.
I have in mind.
Yeah.
One is Memphis Depay, an overarching comeback story.
Yeah, yeah.
He moved to Brazil. Was kind of like brought into Corinthians when Corinthians were sitting in a relegation place. The whole storyline around it was like,
So crazy.
Memphis Depay, why are you going to Brazil? Why are you leaving a top 5 club? Why are you going to a club in Brazil? Why are you going to a club in Brazil that's being relegated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He manages to put in, I think, 10 goals, 4 assists. Corinthians is now in 7th place. So they went from bottom, like, I think, 23rd or 22nd place to now in 7th place. They have, like, basically, like, the whole city, at least the Corinthians fan base in Rio, has, like, kind of taken him as, a star, a player of the club.
Yeah.
He's out in the favelas with, like, Corinthians fans. He's doing, like, he's getting his hair braided in the streets. He's doing music videos. He's flying it with helicopters. So I'm happy for someone that's used their career to, like, travel the world and, like, have experiences that I think all of us would dream of having. So
Yeah.
for that, I'm super happy for Memphis. Another player, similar-ish in terms of vibe, is Moise Kean.
Yep.
He was at Juventus. He barely played at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
He barely played all of last season at Juventus. And believe me, that was tough. But for him to have bet on himself, gone to a club where he was guaranteed to get playing time, Fiorentina, for the first time in, I think, 10 years now, are contending for the title. He is the second top scorer in the Serie A. He was player of the month last month, in November. He is officially going to be a starter for the national team with Retegui up top, and so Italy has finally found some strikers that are scoring some goals. And the confidence that he now has playing on the field has also allowed him to have confidence in his personal life as well, which I'm always a fan of. He's putting out music, starting out, like, doing different clothing, like fashion shows and stuff that he wanted and has always wanted to do, but now has the license to do because he's playing well. And so, yeah, like we said last episode, it's a lesson for people who may just realize that a change of scenery can help. If you are in a place that doesn't believe in you, sometimes going somewhere where you're wanted is the best thing to do for your career. So that's the lesson for me.
I'm going to do, actually, my breakout player was going to be Pulisic. That's what I was focused on. But I'll turn it into a category, is U.S. men's national team players in Europe. In the level of consistent success we're seeing at very legitimate top European clubs right now. So we have Christian Pulisic on AC Milan with Yunus Musa. And Pulisic has been arguably the best player this season, you could say, as a Milan fan. Of course. He's been exceptional, not just with goals and assists, but doing it in the biggest moments, right, including even against Real Madrid. And just how confident he is on the ball, how many things he can make happen, whether it's the dribbling, the shooting, finding his teammates. Just when he's at that peak confidence, he's one of the better players in the world. Not one of the best, not Ballon d'Or candidate necessarily, though that is a little bit of the trajectory if he keeps it up. Then to add in how well Weston McKennie and Tim Weah are doing at Juventus. Adding in all the guys at PSV, we've got Ricardo Pepi, Malik Tillman, Serginho Dest, and Richie Ledesma, who have been exceptional for PSV, who I believe is once again leading the Eredivisie title that they won last season. Not to mention guys like Austin Trusty on Celtic now. We've got Anthony Robinson on Fulham. Gio Reyna has returned to Dortmund. There's also Cole Campbell, 18-year-old American on Dortmund. To see this much of our national team and players from our country or of our nationality on these types of clubs in Europe playing at this level we've never seen this amount or at this level. And this is the type of consistency we need to be able to compete with the best.
Correct.
So I think this is a breakout moment for the U.S. for sure.
Amen.
And you got one for comeback? Or any sad injuries? Oh, you already did yours. My fault. One more for sad injury, though. I'll say Neymar for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Again, bro.
Yeah.
Might be time to come to New York City FC. They say he wants to play in MLS, so.
I didn't like the quote from the Palmeiras sporting director.
About Neymar?
I didn't like
What'd
that.
they say?
She was like, it was like rumor that he was going to be joining Palmeiras, and she goes, "We're not running a hospital here."
Oh my
Alright.
god.
I didn't like as a
And as a
Brazilian,
Braz-
as a
that's-
Brazilian in like you work in the soccer industry, like the reason why your job is as lucrative as it is because of people like Neymar. I didn't appreciate that. I
Yeah.
found that disrespectful. to
That's
be
no
honest.
bueno.